Hey guys, welcome to the introduction to the Boto3 library lecture. In this lecture, I will explain what the Boto3 library is, how it works, what Boto3 clients and resources are, and how to instantiate them. So let's get started. The Boto3 library is the AWS Software Development Kit, or SDK for Python, that allows us to create, configure, and manage AWS services using their APIs from our Python code. The Boto3 library allows us to interact with AWS APIs using an object-oriented way, and in that case we are using Boto3 resources, or low-level way, in that case we are using Boto3 clients. The Boto3 library heavily relies on another library called Boto3, which contains Python code that takes care of user authentication, session information management, or converting API requests and responses to and from XML format required by AWS API endpoints. We just mentioned Boto3 clients and resources. So when we should use one versus another? There are several differences that we need to keep in mind when making a decision. First, Boto3 clients allow us to work with the responses from AWS APIs using native Python dictionaries. They are thread safe and can be used in multi-threading or multi-processing applications. On the opposite side, Boto3 resources allow us to interact with AWS APIs using high-level abstractions such as Python classes, and they allow us to forget about managing paging operations when a large response is returned from AWS API call. But the downside of the Boto3 resource is that they are not thread safe and you cannot use them in multi-threading or multi-processing code. From my personal experience, I'm using Boto3 resources for filtering or iterating operations wherever it's possible. In other situations, I'd prefer using Boto3 clients. And one last note, Boto3 library is continuously evolving, and it is important to know how to use both clients and resources, because Boto3 resources might not be available for you for every AWS service which you might want to use. To instantiate Boto3 client in your Python script or Lambda function, you need to import Boto3 library and use the client factory method. This method accepts AWS service name and sometimes other parameters, such as AWS region, for example. We will cover these additional parameters in the specific lections related to each AWS service. And finally, to instantiate Boto3 resource for each AWS service, if it is available, of course, we need to use Boto3 resource factory method similarly to the client. To check if Boto3 resource is available for the required AWS service, you need to review the official Boto3 documentation for that specific service. That's it for this lecture. See you in the next one.